live to our City Council special meeting. And it's going to be a two-part meeting. The first part's going to be very short consent items. And then secondly, we're going to go to closed session, adjourn to closed session. That it does indicate on the agenda, if anyone's looking at it, that we will be adjourning from closed session and coming back into open session. We will not be doing that. We're going to have our closed session, and that'll be a wrap, and announcements from closed session will come out later. And so if you are waiting with bated breath to find out what the closed session announcements are, we'll let you know. So with that, before we call it to order, there may be a few folks who want to share with us on the consent items, or anyone who has a comment on the closed session items can also call in a moment, and Nat's going to explain how to do that. Before we do, I want to introduce your caring City Council, which is Dan Albert, Council Member, Alan Hoffa, who will be joining us shortly, Ed Smith, Council Member, and Tyler Williamson, Council Member. And I do like to introduce our caring council because I can remember being in a meeting several years ago, and there were a lot of students there and public, and they didn't know who was who, even though we think everybody knows who we are. I don't even know who I am. So there you go. And our friend Al Hoffa has joined us as well. So with that, Nat, tell folks how they can join us if they want for our very short open meeting.
Sounds great, Mayor Roberson. We offer two ways to participate in City Council meetings. The first is to join directly on ZoomGov using the Zoom app on the mobile or computer device. And the second is to call directly into the meeting. To join us, please use the link or the phone number that's listed on the agenda at isearchmonterey.org. And since the meeting has already started, you'll find the link under the Recent tab. And to join us by telephone, please dial toll-free 833-568-8864. And then you'll enter the meeting ID, which is 160-772-9333#. And then if you're prompted to enter a participant ID, you'll press pound one more time. Detailed instructions on how to use Zoom is available on our website at monterey.org/public meetings. To make a public comment using the Zoom app, you can virtually raise your hand by pressing the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. If you've dialed in by phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. We then ask that you unmute yourself by dialing *6. You must do both. Public commenters will be muted until it's their turn to speak. I'll be calling on each public speaker in the order of their hands raised, and we ask that you stay within a time limit that will be established for today's meeting, and we will show a countdown timer on the screen. If you're connected live on Zoom, the timer is accurate with no delay. This meeting is also being streamed live on youtube.com/City of Monterey with a 10-second delay, and also on Comcast Channel 25, which has a 90-second delay. As always, we look forward to receiving public comment today.
Well, thanks so much, Nat. And since this is a special meeting, people might notice there isn't an agenda item for general public comments because it's a special meeting. However, we're always happy to hear from you at suggest@monterey.org, or we will see you the first meeting of June if you want to share some things during the open mic, as I like to call it. But for special meetings, we don't do that. So we'll call the meeting to order. There are two consent items: appointing agency negotiators. That means City of Monterey negotiators on two lease negotiation items. Nat, any comment on those? Or any comment on the closed session items?
We do have one raised hand, and it's Esther Malkin who will be joining us. And welcome to the meeting, Esther.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. There's been a real uptick on this side of the city of property crimes, and a lot of them are being caught on these Ring cameras. And the neighbors in Del Monte Beach in particular are really up in arms, and they're going to the media about it. So I'm not sure what we can do about this, but you know, this side of the city always has more crime like this than where you guys live. And it's important that we try and get ahead of this I really don't know how at this point, but we have to do it because it's only going to get worse if these next round of prisoners get released that were proposed. And hopefully the DAs that signed petitions against it will have an impact, but this is just not acceptable at all. So I just want to give you a heads up in case while you're in your meeting, they got in touch with KSBW because that's the plan according to the post on Nextdoor. And also just want to caution everybody. Hopefully we're going to have enough people still managing the wharf over this weekend. That's going to be very busy. And while we're doing well with our COVID numbers, that can change in a flash. I mean, the India variant is extremely rapid. And in Colorado, they had a case that within 1 week, their cases tripled. So we really can't let our guard down, because if something happens and we end up having to go backwards, it's not going to help the businesses or anybody else either. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Esther. Okay, this concludes comments that we've opened up for consent items and any closed session items.
Yes, thank you. All right, so I'll make a motion to, unless there are questions from the council, are we ready to move on it, the 2 items? Okay, I'll move to approve then.
Second.
All right, roll call, please, MK.
Councilmember Hoffa?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Albert?
Yes.
Councilmember Williamson?
Yes.
And Mayor Roberson?
Yes, as I said, it's going to be a short meeting. We're going to adjourn to closed session, and we'll be Zooming all of you very soon. Thank you, folks, for any folks who've tuned in. We always appreciate that and your comments. We'll see you shortly.
Yeah.
To a closed session.
Yep, and just reminding folks, if people do wish to hear announcements from closed session, please contact the city clerk's office at 831-646-3935.
Very good. Thanks, Nat.
Thank you.